Hey Jackie, thanks for coming by and answering a few questions for me.
Sure.
Jackie, could you tell me a little bit about your life right now?
Well, there's not really much to say. I don't really do anything.
Okay, well, when you are doing things, what are some of the things that you enjoy?
I watch Netflix a lot. I love my computer. And music, I guess.
That's great. How about you tell me about some things that you're not really enjoying?
Pretty much everything else.
Like what? Could you be specific?
Well, I hate school. I don't learn anything. It's pretty boring. And the people are kind of dumb.
Tell me about your family.
Well, there's my mom, my dad, and my brother John. I don't really get along with my dad, and I kind of fight with John a lot. All they want to do is tell me what to do, and I don't think my dad really cares about much except for my marks.
I see. Well, I think I would like to hear some more about that later, if that's okay with you. Thank you, Jackie. Mrs. Brown, do you think you could shed some light on Jackie's life at school? How has she been performing academically?
I've taught Jackie a few times since she started high school, and I can say that I've noticed a pretty steep decline in her work ethic ever since. Although I do try my best to get her engaged in work, she always seems preoccupied and distracted. It definitely shows in her grades. She rarely hands in work, and she seems to have quite a bad attitude towards her teachers and classmates. It can be really discouraging.
What kind of things does Jackie distract herself with during class time?
Mostly her phone. She surfs the internet and plays games. She rarely interacts with other students, and if I'm being honest, most students are hesitant to interact with her. She is prone to angry outbursts, and she can be very insulting when she wants to be.
So the other students don't necessarily socialize with Jackie?
No, despite my best efforts, they do not. I try to make my classroom as inviting as possible, but some things can slip through the cracks, and I feel that some students may be teasing her behind my back when I'm not paying attention, and that sets her off.
Yes.
Miss Patrick, tell me a little about your experience being Jackie's guidance counselor.
Yeah, of course. I've been pretty well acquainted with Jackie's parents since she began her high school career. I was actually initially approached by Jackie's mother, just because she was concerned that she wasn't going to be able to make the transition into high school very smoothly. So yeah, for about 2.5 years we've been in fairly constant communication with her family, with Jackie, and myself.
And how would you say Jackie transitioned?
Well, the transition certainly wasn't smooth by any means. Like Ms. Brown said, Jackie struggles socially. She can say inappropriate or uncomfortable things, and that unfortunately causes people to alienate her quite a bit. It's something we've really been trying to work on.
What kind of work have you been doing with Jackie to deal with her anxiety? Have you found effective strategies to help encourage Jackie to interact with her peers and teachers?
Some things work better than others. There have been some things that have been fairly effective in reducing Jackie's anxiety and her outbursts. We usually plan Jackie's schedules ahead of time, and for her classes we like to pair her with teachers that she knows fairly well and likes fairly well. Those tend to reduce the amount of outbursts she has, and they might even improve her grades marginally. However, that's the extent of Jackie's flexibility. She refuses to join any teams or clubs because she says she isn't interested in anything that the school has to offer. I've gone out of my way to find clubs outside of school that I thought she might be interested in, but that just seems to really elevate her anxiety, and she doesn't like to talk about it, so I tend to steer clear of that topic now.
Well, thank you guys for coming. I'll be contacting you again with some more details and questions later.
Definitely.
Would you mind telling me a little bit about when you first started experiencing problems with Jackie's behavior?
Sure. She was fine in elementary school. There's hardly any problems there. I mean, she always had a bit of a temper, but that was in crowded situations, but I mean, that was kind of normal. She was invited to she had a lot of friends and a lot of birthday parties that she was always invited to, and pool parties with all of her peers in her class. So we didn't really start seeing problems until she reached about the age of 10. and that's when she started to get withdrawn, and it I don't know, it was really different, and it really broke my heart.
What happened to Jackie's group of friends during this time?
Slowly they started to disintegrate. The meetings and pool parties and birthday parties started to become less regular, and she got quite upset during this time. Would often get emotional just like that. We suspect that this was kind of related to her peers noticing that her behavior changed, and I believe they responded to start to exclude her a lot. And after that, only things got worse from there. She dropped out of sports, and now she spends a lot of time in her room by herself.
What was the atmosphere like at home?
As things got worse at school, it correlated into things getting worse at home. Every day is a bit of a struggle to get her down to family dinners. I try to be patient and caring with her, but her and her father are always butting heads. She absolutely refuses to spend time with her little brother John, and all she does is plug in her headphones and sit in a dark room from the minute she gets home from school, so she's quite excluded from the family.
So right now, what is your biggest concern for your daughter?
I'm concerned that this isn't just a phase and that Jackie is going to continue to fall behind in her grades. I'm afraid that she's never going to have good friends to rely on, and most of the girls her age should have that. My biggest fear is that Jackie will become seriously depressed, and who knows what will go from that.
So based on my notes, in Jackie's case, I recommend that we implement a team of professionals in order to provide an analysis on her social self-regulation from multiple perspectives. This could include a psychologist, a behavior analyst, a psychiatrist, and perhaps even a school counselor. We would ensure that all members of the team could collaborate in a transdisciplinary environment.